Hello everyone, it's Amy and I am here for week 17 of Build Your Stash and Craft. And this week we are going to make some shimmer glue, shimmer paints, and this is what they're going to look like. So this is the shimmer glue in silver, or actually Snow White, and in gold. And this is just glue and mica powder. And then here is the shimmer paints, and this is with glue, paint, and mica powder. And it's, for me, it's very shimmery. I'm not so sure exactly how much of it is picking up for you, but it's really pretty, very easy to do, and it's just a nice extra thing to have. So what we're going to need is our LA Colors mica powders from the Dollar Tree. And if you could get them in a silver and a gold, or a white and a gold, like those two colors will mix with anything, but you can also get them in other colors if you want to. We're going to need our little tiny storage containers from the Dollar Tree. Now they do have a different size, but this size, even though it looks small, it will go a long ways. And then we're going to need our little plastic forks for stir sticks. And these work nice because they kind of work for a little scoop and they work for a stir stick. So it's good to have those on hand anyways. And those were the things that we needed to pick up. We're also going to need our razor knife and our scissors and a paintbrush. And I think that that's about, oh, and our glue. So, so the way to do it is, I'll show you what I already have done. And these ones were done on 3/16. So they've been done for a while now. This one is the shimmer paint. And so that's got paint and glue and shimmer in it. And make sure when you shut them that you get that top on there nice and tight. Okay, and then this one is the Snow White shimmer glue. And so this is just glue and shimmer. And now to make the shimmer glue, it is one of these little tubs. You fill it 3/4 of the way with glue, put in 3 little scoops of your powder, and then just mix it up, and you've got your shimmer glue. So if you get colored, if you get different color mica powders, you'll have different color shimmer glue. And I don't know if you can see that through, but they last really well if you shut them up tight. This one is just the gold and the glue. If I can, oops. Try not to make a mess. I'm really good at spilling these types of things. I don't know if you can see the shimmer on that or not, but it's so pretty. And they turn out so pretty. When you do just the shimmer glue, it's transparent kind of. Depending on the color of shimmer you have, depends on how much. And then I have this one here in blue also. As you look here, now this is the shimmer with the white, and this is the shimmer with the gold, but it is still partly see-through. And then the shimmer with the paint is more opaque. So, and I'm going to show you how to make this. I'm going to show you how to get these open, because if you were to try and dump out the mica powder out of here, because of the way this is built, it doesn't want to come out. So you need to get it open, and the way to do that, and you need to be very careful because we're going to take the bottom off. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, because my scissors do not have a point on them, I'm going to start with my knife. Don't put it out very far. And all I'm going to do, don't push hard because you don't want to slip and cut yourself. You're just going to go right towards the edge. You don't want to be in the middle. It's harder to pop out. Be towards the edge, right about like where this writing is right here. Okay? And just put your point there. And you're just going to go back and forth and then turn it a little bit and just rock it back and forth. And we're putting a little tiny hole in the bottom. Now this hole is not where we're going to get our powder out. This is how we're going to pop the bottom off. And when you pop the bottom off, after you're done with it, you can pop the bottom back on. That's the nice thing. So and you're just going to go back and forth until you get a hole in the bottom. And it takes a little bit. Don't press hard thinking that, oh, that'll be so much quicker. It doesn't take that long to take your time and just rock it back and forth, and that's peeling off a little bit of the plastic every time you do that. And it's making the hole deeper and deeper. See, you can see how much plastic has already come off of there. I'll pull that off and just keep on going. Once we get a bit of a hole in there, then we can stick our scissors in there and pop it off. So they'll make the hole bigger. Okay, I'm going to see if I've got enough. I'm going to take the smaller side of my scissors, and I'm going to put it in that hole, and I'm going to just go around a couple of times with my scissors, and then you'll kind of feel when you're through this plastic bottom, and your scissors will kind of catch a little bit. Again, don't press hard, just rock it back and forth. You don't want to slip and cut yourself. I will say do this at your own risk. Be very, very careful. Okay, now I have a big enough hole to pop it off, I do believe. So what I'm going to do is put my scissors in there and just pull up on this side. Do this on some kind of paper or something, because it can be very messy. And the only thing about these are also, they have a rounded top. So when you've got them sitting upside down, they like rock back and forth and everything because they have a rounded top. I already did the silver because I didn't want you to have to wait for me to do that one. And I had just popped that top back on there. Okay, and so now all we're going to do for the glimmer paint, we're going to fill our pot halfway with glue, another quarter of the way with paint, and then put in 3 scoops of the powder. So I'm just going to put in some of this. Is just white PVA glue. Fill it to about half. Oops, don't need the top. And then I'm going to make some purple. Now, if you were doing just the glimmer glue, since I already have the white and the gold, I don't want to make another glue. But all you would do is do 3/4 of glue and 3 scoops of this. Okay, now I filled it halfway with glue. I'm going to go up another quarter with paint. Now your paint just sinks right down into your glue, but what it does is it raises the level of that glue on the side. So you're going to go till you're 3/4 of the way full, and then you know you've got the right amount. Now with purple, I think I will use the Snow White, or if you had silver, silver, because that is a better, to me, a better color to mix with. And I've just got just like a scoop of it here. And the thing is with this, you put it in, mix it up. 1, 2, and you would be surprised how much mica powder is in this jar. It's a lot. 3. Okay, and now I'm going to mix it up. If you mix it up and you think, well, I don't think that's enough shimmer, put some more in there. You can never really have too much shimmer, but you want to be careful not to put so much in that you can't stir it. You can always add more after you get that mixed in. But mix it well. Wipe your stir stick because that mica will want to stick to it. And you really need to just get that mixed up very well. Okay, now, in looking at this, it has some shimmer, but I'm not happy with how much shimmer it has, so I'm going to put in a couple more scoops. You're going to want to have a wet paper towel to wipe your hands on also. Let's get another one of my little forks here, since that one's dirty. Oliver thinks he wants to go out. 1, 2 more. So they always want to go out when it's pouring down rain. Actually, it's not pouring down rain. It's actually like little icy balls of snow. And that's why he wants to go out, because he loves to eat the snow. And it's been gone for a while now. And he just can't stand it. There is snow on the deck. He needs to go out and eat some. Okay. So we've got this all mixed up. And once you put them away, when you get them out the next time, make sure you shake them well, because the mica will settle to the bottom when you put them away. So don't forget to give them a good shake before you use them. Okay, now I can really see that shimmer in there. And so I'm going to say that that is good. And let's see here. Just going to take a little bit of that and wipe it on there. Now with the paint, it's just, it makes your paint kind of shimmery. It's not the same shimmer as the, and I'm not so sure how well you're going to be able to see that shimmer in there, but it's shimmering very nicely. And if you test it and you think, no, I think that this is enough, and I'll have to wait till it dries to see it completely. But if you test it and you think it's not enough, just add more. It's all by your taste also. You could want it super, super shimmery and put in a lot more. It's totally up to you. So we will make one with the gold. And I'm going to close this up first. Now you may want to wipe your lids. It'll probably be easier for you to get your lid off. I'm always lazy and I never think to do that, but it's a good idea to wipe your lid and make sure that you snap that top on really well. And I really want to do a brown one. I'm going to do a pink one with the white, and I'm going to do a yellow one with the gold, but I'm not going to make you sit here the whole time and watch me stir them. But let's do the brown one really quick before we go. Do I have enough time? Ooh, if I hurry, I have enough time. I'm not going to fill this one up quite as far. Just give that a tap off. One, two, and you need a little scoop to fit in here, because there is, in the center, there is the hard part that sticks up from the top where the brush comes through. So you do need something small, but if you have something else that you think would work better. When I did my tests, I actually used a little measuring spoon that was called Just a Pinch, because I didn't have any of these stir sticks yet. And I love this style stir stick because they work well for many, many things. Except the ones that I used to have were wooden. I liked those better. These are plastic, but they work just as well. They work as little scoops. They work as stir sticks. They work to hold things down when you're trying to paint something and you don't want to hold it with your finger. And the thing is that really I'm probably mixing these a little bit. You know, I probably should even mix them a little longer than I am, because it takes a while to get all of that really, really incorporated with each other. And that has a really nice shimmer to it. Just put some of that on the paper here. And of course, brown is one of my favorite colors, browns and coppers, so of course this would be one of my favorites. That looks really nice. Of course, I've got some regular powder on there, but the shimmer is really nice on that one. So I'm going to quick make a pink and an orange one while I've got this out, and then I'll show you some of the things that you can do with this. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I made a green with the gold, and I made a pink with the Snow White. So I was going to make, I realized I already had orange, so I didn't want to make the yellow because I have the gold. So I wanted something a little bit different. But these are the ones that we did today. And I hope the shimmer, and the shimmer shows up more as like these two are drier than these two. And so the shimmer is showing a little bit more. And this is not glitter paint, it's shimmer paint. So it's just supposed to have that little shimmer to it. Just very kind of understated, shimmer and beauty to that. Not like glitter, like I'm in your face. So, although we will be playing with glitter shortly. But just things you can do with this. It's paint. So you can use it just like you would use any other paint. And just use it to paint something. I had painted these little, the ones from last week. And, those are really, those are very pretty and shimmery. And that's even after it's soaked into the texture paste. So it really does hold its shimmer. And what I'm going to do is, on this one, I'm going to use the gold. This is the gold glitter or gold shimmer glue. This is not a paint. This is just the gold in the glue. And I'm going to show you, you can just take just a little bit off the top of that and just put on your finger. Now you don't want too much on your finger. You can kind of like tap it off a little bit so that it's flat on your finger instead of a big lump. And then you can just use it to rub across the top of things that have texture. And if you go really lightly, it will only pick up where that texture is. But when you're doing this and you're trying to pick up the top of something with texture, if you get down onto the flat part of your paper and get some of your gold on there, that's not the end of the world. Don't worry about that, because it is going to happen, especially if you have a lot of texture in one spot and then there's a big flat part. You're inevitably probably going to touch that flat part unless you're super, super, super careful. And oops, hubby rung in. So I was just saying that I'm not usually that careful, so I usually get it on the flat part a little bit here or there. And just like I did right there, I put too much on. And I'm very much okay with that. Now that is the gold shimmer glue. Now I'm going to do the kind of golden shimmer paint just to kind of show you the difference here. Of course, I shouldn't have really picked blue to put it with because the golds and the blues don't blend that great. But just to give you an idea of how it works. So here we have the gold shimmer glue. So it's more opaque, more see-through, or it's more translucent. And then the paint is a little bit more opaque. It's a little bit more where you can't see through it. But because we put the glue in there, it does have a little bit of transparency to it. So again, like I said, I didn't pick the best colors to go together, but that does just show you how that works very nicely like that. Let's wipe my finger off over here. And I am such a klutz sometimes. Put the lid on here so I don't spill it. I'm going to put the lid on the gold one too. And then what I want to do is the jar that we did up last week, the jar top. I want to paint that with the blue because I just think that will be really pretty. And I don't know if you can see the shimmer in there, but it's nice and shimmery. Okay, let's see. I got my little big brush here. I figured I could probably fit it in the pot, but it would go a little bit faster than one of those tiny brushes. And so this is how I'm going to do the top of last week's textured or decorated jar with the texture paste. And usually when you paint texture paste, you usually have to put 2 coats, because if you put texture in it, you know, like I have all these bumps and stuff, what happens is you think you have it all, but as it dries, you'll see a little white spot here or there where you didn't get down into a nook or cranny. So, you know, I try and get them all well the first time, but I almost always have to go over it a second time. So, but that just helps seal it up better anyways. The more layers you have on something, the sturdier it becomes. And that, you know, works basically for anything, even journal pages or whatever. I'm probably doing this totally out of shot, I'm sorry. But yeah, so this is our glimmer paste, or glimmer paint. And it already is shining on here. The hardest part is picking up a glimmer on camera. And I just use my phone. So I'm sure maybe if I had a better camera, it might show it better, but you can kind of see it. And what I'll do is when I'm done with this, I will let it dry, and if it needs a second coat, I will put a second coat on it. And then when I come back to show you what we need for next week, I will show you what it looks like dry, because it always looks more shimmery when it's dry than when it's wet. So there, oops, I missed a whole big spot right there. There we go. So there's what it looks like so far, and that's going to look pretty on our jar. So I'm going to just set that down and let it dry. I wanted to try and put the same color blue in between. Oh, that works pretty good. I want to get it in between these so that you see the sparkle, but you don't see the white paper that I have behind there. And that's just the way that I do these. And I need a little bit out here too where there's some paper sticking out. That's why I can leave the paper there. And then when I get ready to put it on a project, you can make the paper disappear by just making it match your project. And that's why I don't do anything with the paper right away, because I don't know exactly what project I'm going to put it on or what color I'm going to need that paper to be. I could have done it turquoise, but if I had done it turquoise to match the bling, it would have kind of blended in with the bling, but as soon as I put it on my project, it would have really stood out that those flat pieces were there. And that's why I wanted to wait and do it to match my project. And if you've got little spots where you really want to try and get in there, you could use, and this may sound silly, but I've done it before, so you can use toothpicks to get down into really teeny tiny crevices that you can't get to with your brush. You can, you can find very fine point brushes, but we don't have those brushes yet. And technically, for how often you may use them, unless you find that you need a little teeny tiny brush a lot for something you're doing, that would not be something at the top of my list to get a hold of, because they're not super cheap. And usually the little teeny tiny ones that you want to get for a project, you're going to want like a bit of a halfway decent brush. And so I just go ahead and get a little bit of paint on a toothpick and stick it in there, and it works just fine. And there we go. So I've painted around that, and now it is going to nicely, actually I need to hit the sides of this paper too to make sure that it doesn't show that white. So that it'll blend in nicely to the back. And I will be back as soon as that's dry and I get a second coat, and I'll show you what we need for next week. Okay, I'm back, and this is the end. What we've got going on here, I did want to show you that I still have a half of a jar here of the blue paint, even after I put 2 coats, and they were good heavy coats, on my jar top. And here is what the jar top looks like. See that beautiful shimmer? It looks so pretty. And I glued this on with the heavy duty glue that we got in the beginning from the Dollar Tree. But I think that this just turned out really gorgeous the way that it looks, and it just nice and shiny. Now I can paint my jar. And I put my little sticks in there because I needed a place for those. So that's what you can do with your paint. You can do anything with it. I wanted to show you about these. Now that you've taken these off, just put that back on. Hopefully you can hear it. Well, nope, it didn't snap very loud. Sometimes they snap really loud. But if you just push that back on, it's on there good now. I do store them this way because I don't want any little bits to come out that hole, and because this is so fine it can. Let's see if this one snaps. Nope, neither one of them snapped. So, because a lot of times you hear it snap when you put it back on. So you're going to want to store those upside down. And so we have all of these little shimmer paints that we made with just a very little bit of shimmer. There's still a lot left there to do things with. And if you save your paper towel that you've wiped everything off on, you can't see it, but it's very shimmery. And you can use that in mixed media. It gives great texture, and with all that shimmer on it, it's kind of really neat looking. So what we're going to need for next week, let me just put these out of the way. It's going to be very simple. This is from the dollar store, and it's all-purpose caulk. And you want the one that says that it's paintable. Now, don't go to Walmart and get one that says 100% silicone. That's a different kind of caulk, and we don't want that. We just want all-purpose caulk. It can be, the one from the Dollar Tree is white. It doesn't matter if it's white or if it's clear. But this was just $1 at the Dollar Tree. And then you're going to want to get some kind of pictures. Now, I picked up a little pack of cards at a secondhand store, but you can get like thank you notes or something like that at the Dollar Tree. Or you can just, if you have a printer and you want to print off pictures on your cardstock because you want it to be solid paper, so the same picture. And you're going to need 3 to 4 of the same picture on cardstock or on this is a card, so it's going to be heavy. And you just want it, you don't want it to be like one big solid picture. Like this one kind of has parts to it. So you're going to want something that has like different parts to it, and have 3 or 4 of the same picture. And so that's what we're going to need for next week. So we've got $1 and $2. That leaves us with $3, and we're going to want to save that $3 now. So, because we're going to save for something else in the future. So next week, caulk and 4 pictures of the same. I hope that you enjoyed the shimmer glue and the shimmer paint. So it's very fun to play with in a nice, really cheap way. And like I said, even these little tiny tubs go a really long ways. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.